Pisces, what's up? This is a reading for Pisces, dealing with the Pisces, any Pisces placements, whatever brought you here, there is a message. Okay, so this is your general forecast for 2026. I already did for you a rest of 2025 one. I'm going to put a link for it in the description and also tag it to the end of the video. All right, so general message, let's see what resonates. We just start off with a general message for you, which is overall for the year. I hope you're doing well. Welcome to the video. You have got the Tower energy. Now, the Tower energy typically has a horrible, horrible, horrible reputation for being the worst thing on the planet, But it is really deep transformation. Anything in life is only really bad if we kind of make it so, if we place it in that category of being bad. The Tower energy is this deep transformative energy, and it is what happens when we almost it's almost like we oppose evolution. We hold on to things, we limit ourselves. um, you know we we kind of hold on to something and we don't move on. It's where you got stuck in your trauma. So it is very deeply healing for you, especially this first part of the year. But if you look at this card, it is like growing in this like this cordon of little space before you are ready to grow in a bigger space, like in a nursery. You are being nurtured, and let yourself be nurtured. Let life nurture you. Don't It's a big one coming through for you, Pisces, that you don't compare yourself to others, and even to other Pisceans and other people, and your siblings, and any of those things. And even when it comes to things like your job and your money and love and relationships, don't compare. Be present in the moment. Say to yourself, I am here now. And you are now in this moment. All right? It says cellular level cleansing and reset, out with the old and in with the new. So it's a very transformative year for you. And, just because there are big transformations that take place doesn't mean that it has to be this horrifically overwhelming experience unless you let it be that. And the way that we let it be that typically is by holding on. So you are called to have faith, you are called to have trust, to trust that the infinite source of provision will be there for you. Whatever it is that your heart needs, from romantic love to friendship love to money to to your home, that all your needs are being taken care of. This is a year that can be, quite trippy for you, because you are feeling everybody's emotions so profoundly, you know. But if you can have this acute sense, or cultivate this acute sense, that there's this great force taking care of you and wanting you to be well, that is when everything can work to your benefit. Okay? So let's see what we have for you in tarot, and we clarify and end off with a message from Mother Gaia. Tell me, where in the world are we connecting from? And if you haven't yet done so, I'd really appreciate you subscribing to the channel. I have a reading for you every single week, so be sure to hit that notification bell as well. All right, so the tarot forecast that we have for you, which is just a broad forecast. Obviously, if you want to have a more personal month-by-month breakdown, or just a general reading, you can contact me. My details are in the description. We can set that up for you. All right, so 10 of Cups, 5 of Wands, and the Ace of Wands. All right, so first of all, you've got wonderful support here. You've got a wonderful sense of family, community. You may have felt very unsupported for the longest time, because the typical energy of Pisces is a 12th house energy. It is that spiritual, sort of death, release, to go into the next phase of birth, which is Aries. So, you can almost compare this as to when you are moving. And for many of you, you are moving because you are changing so much. When we are moving, it's a little bit of an overwhelming experience. It doesn't matter how positive the move is. If you have been in a certain relationship for a while, be that romantic, be it work, be it poverty, struggling to get by, and now you get into a space where it's easier. You always see when people come into sudden fortune, they lose themselves a little bit there for a while, because you need to sort of like acclimate to this new way of being. So it is a bit of a rough time for you, but there is a lot of support. Now, I do see some of you having a little bit of a tough time with the shift and the changes, because there are so many shifts and changes that are taking place in 2026. And here's something that will happen, and you can use this to your benefit. And if you use this to your benefit, Pisces, then everything will be so much easier for you. And that is, Whatever conflict you see on the outside is a mirror reflection of what is happening inside. Now, this doesn't mean that you go and blame yourself for stuff. You have some, something with some person who's narcissistic or whatever. You can say to yourself, okay, what is this reflecting to me about me that I'm ready to release, that I'm ready to let go of? Or you can go and really call yourself a narcissist as well and just be horrible to yourself, which won't really help you go forward. Okay? Anything that you can accept, you don't have to like it even. But if you can say that on some level, I must be holding on to this. On some level, this may be serving me. On some level, this is keeping me safe. All right? And anything that keeps you safe also typically keeps you present. Because when we really get what we are one and part of, we understand that we don't need to be kept safe because we are part of all that is. All right? But there's really powerful breakthroughs for you as well. It is a beautiful, beautiful year. So you can, how you approach these changes will determine how you experience it. You can either look at it as a year of great, profound growth, and if you look at it like that, then you can see everything as life working to your benefit, working to your favor. All right? But when you go into a space of like, oh my goodness, it's so tough, it's going to be such a horrible, overwhelming year. Same thing, very different approach, not a very nice experience. Okay? So your approach determines how you experience this year. Let's clarify for you and tell me, does that resonate with you? And if you are open to the idea that you can grow powerfully, dynamically, and it can be this experience that becomes more and more uplifting as you go along, that you co-create with spirit in your highest and best interest. If you're open to that, place your hand on your heart, take a breath and say, yes, let's clarify. Have you told me where you are from yet? What is your big dream for 2026? And where in the world are we connecting from? I want to know. Okay. So the 10 of Cups, you've got the Knight of Wands, the 6 of Cups, and the 7 of Swords. Okay. This is a very powerful message for someone because my nose is itching like crazy. And when that happens, it means it's that, hitting the nail on the head type of thing. So, when I say this, it might sound negative, but it's actually the most profoundly beautiful, positive thing ever, honestly. There is a lot of forgiveness that you might need to do in 2026. And don't cut any corners. Okay, cutting corners might seem very, very attractive. You might have things like, well, I deserve this, I'm worthy of this, and that sort of thing. Anything you need to justify too much is typically something you shouldn't be doing. Otherwise, you wouldn't need to justify it so much, And when I say forgiveness, I don't just mean for the things that you did, but for the ways that you maybe kept yourself trapped at times. But most of the things that happen to us in this life, most of the traumas that we even experience, the lack, the limitation, the things we struggle with, is because of what we inherited in our pathology, in our generational ancestral lines. So forgiveness is releasing yourself from the responsibility to keep on carrying forward this timeline, sort of like beliefs that are not serving you. So you are releasing with love. And remember, even forgiveness, we can be grateful to our ancestors for, whatever it is that they did, because a lot of times that gave us the strength to be able to exist in this life, to be able to graduate lessons in this life without needing to first die. So they sometimes build strength within us. So forgiveness is saying, I'm taking the positive and releasing with love, honor, and respect the negative, or the so-called non-serving, okay? So for the 5 of Wands, you got the 10 of Cups, the 5 of Pentacles, and the 8 of Wands. Lots and lots of new beginnings for you this year. So again, even now, at this point, you want to set that positive intention. Look at what are my strengths. What is holding me back? Who am I at arms with? What isn't working? Even things like disharmony in the body, always getting in the same situation, people gossiping about you, people being malicious, always getting in the bad relationship, never feeling fulfilled, maybe because I get for you getting in the good relationship, but not feeling that sense of fulfillment. What do we get from that? Sometimes you get to not commit. So if you don't commit fully, you don't fully get hurt. Do you know what I mean? All right. So again, this confirmation of beautiful family support there with the Ten of Cups for you. The challenges are there. Now, here's a way to deal with the challenges as well. Again, it's the same approach, different outcome. Either the situation is here to run me over, you know, or the situation can be here to positively propel me forward, as long as you've got that faith and trust that there is the source greater than you, that you are one and part of, that wants you to win and that wants to support you. Things will be good. So you can either come from the approach that this force carries you through a difficult stage, or that this force is, you know, carrying you through the stage. Okay? Your approach determines the experience. But then towards, say, like March, maybe late April, yeah, with this Ace of Wands energy, there is a great resurgence that is taking place here for you, like, ooh, la, la, you know, like, or maybe like more like the first part of the year, a bit challenging, but then, oh, wow, you know, you got the full energy of the world and the Eight of Pentacles. So it's a little bit of an overlapping energy here, because with your energy being typically the 12th house, it is death and rebirth, which is really transformation, you know, interlinked, intertwined, overlining. And the recommendation for you is that you take things. This is the most powerful recommendation for you for the whole year, Pisces, that you take things one step at a time. Remember to breathe, you know, do the meditation, do the simple things that keeps you in line, that keeps you in tune, all right? Do give yourself breaks. Schedule them now already and stick to them, okay? Message from Gaia for your Seven of Swords. So again, don't cut corners. The invitation to cut corners is really so inviting for you in 2026. I've worked so hard. I deserve this. You know, nobody can tell me, that sort of thing. Okay? So as long as you can maintain a good mindset for yourself, everything will be fine. Okay? And then remember, I do a reading for you every week, so you can always just go ahead and you know, go ahead and check what your weekly reading is. So be sure to subscribe, be sure to hit that all notification bell so you get notified when they go live. Okay? And from my heart, I wish you the most beautiful, beautiful 26. Okay? I'll see you next week.